Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a pretty fast tutorial on how I do my foundation, blush, and contouring with an airbrush. But I'll show you that in a minute. I'm gonna go shower and wash everything I already have on off, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I'm all showered and I've applied my moisturizer, which for me, because I have oily skin, I just use a really emollient sunblock. And I've let that set in for a couple minutes, and now I'm ready to apply my primer. And because I'm going to be using a water-based foundation, I'm going to want to use a water-based primer. I've been using OCC's Skin Primer, right here. So I'm going to take a little bit of this in a squeeze bottle, put it on the back of my hand, use about that much, ooh, and there it goes. Take a regular foundation brush, stab a bit on, dab a little onto my nose, I'm just going to brush it on. Kind of paint it on. Don't have to be anywhere near as careful as if I was doing actual foundation. Want to make sure I get it almost everywhere. On my forehead, under my eyes. You totally don't have to do this. I just like to because my under eyes tend to get a bit dry, surprisingly. Alrighty. So that's all in. It's dry. On the left of my hand. And I'm going to let this set in for a good 5 minutes. While I do that, I am going to go eat a yogurt, and I will be right back. Alrighty, so it's been a good 5 minutes. I'm just finishing up the last bite of my yogurt. Have you guys tried these Chobani's? They are so good. If you've ever tried the like the honey or the vanilla and didn't like it, seriously, try one of the fruit ones. Blueberry, strawberry, peach, those are the best. Totally different experience. Anyway, this is what we're using today. I have the Temp2 professional air compressor. The battery is plugged in unnecessarily because I have it plugged into a wall charger, but whatever. The gun is the SP35 by Temp2. And that's about it for that. I'm gonna place this as far away from the camera as I can because it makes a lot of noise. I'm gonna be using all OCC Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics products today. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Y1, Y2 for contour, the color Peach for blush, and that's it. Alright, so let's get started. I don't know if it's the same as silicone ones, but with water ones, you definitely have to shake them up. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a little shaker ball in there. Because they do separate. The water separates from all the pigment and stuff, and if you just leave it standing, you'll see that the water just kind of collects on top. So it's really important to shake these beforehand. I'm gonna take this. I usually do anywhere from, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I usually do anywhere from 7 to 9 drops to start off. I've seen a lot of people say that they can do it with like 6 or 8, even with OCC. I don't know how they do it. Maybe their skin is just a lot better than mine is, but I've never been able to do it with less than that. Alrighty. I'm going to start the PSI. Unfortunately, there are no numbers on this, so I can't tell you exactly what I'm putting it at. But just barely above the lowest setting, because I want to go in sheer layers rather than doing full coverage all at once. This gun is not continuous airflow, so you have to actually push down on the little lever to get the air flowing, but no product is coming out right now. And then you have to pull back to get the product to come out. So I'm going to start about 6 inches away from my skin. And I'm only pulling the lever back about halfway. And the biggest thing is I want this to just keep moving. You never ever want to stop, no matter what kind of airbrushing you're doing, whether it's with the pro or the consumer. If you ever stop moving, you're going to get these things called hotspots, which is where product just collects in one spot and you get a big, big blotch of it. Not at all attractive and not the kind of look you're going for. Especially with water-based foundations, that can be kind of dangerous because these all set directly on contact, which means that you basically have about 5, maybe 10 seconds to play with before it sets and before you kind of have to redo it. So I'm just moving this all around, little circular motions, just all around my face. I'm just focusing on getting everywhere right now so it's all one good color. And then I'll go back and do some concealing afterwards. Focus on my nose. I have a lot of big pores on my nose. And this foundation actually does an amazing job at covering them up. I still have a bit of redness on my cheeks. Still can see some of those pores on my nose and still got a little redness around my eyebrows. So I'm going to go back in the same shade Let's see which one. And I'm just gonna focus on the areas that I want to conceal more in. And some of the stuff you're gonna see is stubble because it is late in the day and my facial hair grows extremely fast. No one believes me, but I have to shave every single day, which is a pain. And now I'm gonna do under my eyes. So I'm gonna start at the inner corner, get that air flowing just so I can feel where it's going, and bring it in to maybe like 3 inches. I'm just gonna do very quick. I'm just gonna use up whatever I have left so it doesn't go to waste. Okay, so I'm done concealing everything on my face that I want to get. So now I'm gonna move on to more details like contouring and blush. So for contour, I'm gonna use one shade darker, which is the Y2. About 5 drops of this. And I didn't need to worry about cleaning out the airbrush in between because it's actually kind of fine if it mixes with the previous foundation shade because then it kind of matches it even better and it's even a bit more subtle. About 6 to 8 inches back and just move it. Small circular motions, exactly like I did for foundation, but this time I'm only placing it in areas that I want to, well, contour. For blush, only about 3 drops. It's fine. I'm keeping it at that low PSI level. And I'm just gonna bring it up on top of the temples and down onto the cheek. I don't like a ton of blush. I think it makes me look too made up, so I'm keeping it far away. Not staying on for long, so the color really diffuses, isn't that strong. If I wanted to get more intense, I'd come in closer. Across the bridge of my nose, right across the eyelids once or twice, across my forehead, and just a tiny bit on my chin just to bring it together. I'm gonna let this all set for about anywhere from 1 minute to 2 minutes. It does set really quickly. Like I said, it sets within like 5 to 10 seconds, but I really wanna make sure all that moisture is gone before I put any powder on there. Alrighty, so I've let my foundation set in, everything's dry. Now it's time to powder and set, and we'll be done. I'm gonna take a little bit of this on my Makeup Forever HD Puff. Gonna pour a little bit onto there, just about that much. I'm gonna mush it in. See? I'm gonna put my fingers behind it. First, I'm just gonna tap it on. I'm tapping the places where I want the most powder to go first, so my oily nose, chin, tops of my cheekbones. Oh my, a little too much there. Now that it's all over, I'm just gonna start right here. It doesn't matter where you start at all. And I'm just kind of pushing and rolling in place. And this really just gets that powder melded into your foundation. It's not gonna be sitting on top, it's not gonna be visible. It's gonna look like real skin. It's gonna make your foundation last the longest, so it won't budge. My last step, I'm gonna take this thing called OCC Skin Clear. This is basically just a setting. I mean, it's a liquid, but it's gonna be a mist. It gets rid of the tiny bit of powdery look that I initially started out with because I do use a little bit extra powder to keep my skin matte. It has talc in it, so it keeps your skin matte on its own. 5 to 6 drops of this. Spray in my oiliest areas first, so on my nose, on my forehead, tops of my cheeks, my chin, and I'm just gonna get everywhere else. Without all this stuff and without the video, without like having to explain stuff while I'm doing it, I can do this in maybe like 5-7 minutes, not counting the times in between where I'm waiting for stuff to set in. If I'm in a real big hurry, I can kind of cut those set times down, although that will cut down a little bit on the wear time of the foundation and of all the other products throughout the day, although it's not major at all. Maybe shaves like half an hour off of it, max, if that. I just like to do it because I think it helps. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it's just me. Since I bought this, I have not done regular foundation application or any other type of application. Occasionally I do regular blush or bronzer or highlighter application, but that's it. Without this, nothing can match it. Nothing looks as real, as good as my own skin. Like with this on, the only reason why it might not look like actual skin is because maybe the shade's slightly off. And that's it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and thanks for watching, guys.